iCloud.
There you go. Now you're recording.
Am I? Okay. I didn't know you could do that. So you can record both sides at the same time. Super interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. All right. You guys ready to rock and roll?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Welcome to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast. I'm your host, Chris Arnold. As always, we're excited with you to actually have you with us today, hanging out, having a good time. Here's what we got for you today. This is going to be really interesting. We're going to be talking about TV. We're going to be talking about specifically a student of Tony Javier's that's been in the game for just a year, transitioned right into TV. But here's the catch. Tony's gotten creative on coming in and kind of doing a JV relationship for newer investors that might not have all of the capital to afford television. And then he's kind of tying that in with a little bit more of a done for you system and really kind of coming in side by side. And on top of that, just providing like coaching around business. So if you've been hearing about TV, you're about to hear like a new spin that Tony's put on this thing. And I think this is really cool because if you're listening and you're new, I know the thought that's in your mind. It's like, I would love to do TV, but I just don't feel like I'm in a place that I can afford it, or I'm really nervous about taking risk on a marketing spend. And so what we're going to walk through today is how Tony's kind of come in to create a secondary program for people that are new. And of course, we have Nelson Horton here, who has been really kind of the guinea pig on this thing. And we're going to talk about how it's worked for him so far. So really excited about this show. So Tony Javier, Nelson Horton, what's up? Welcome to the show. How are you guys?
Great. I'm excited. I'm honored to be on the show. I'm honored. So I can remember listening to the podcast a few months ago. So I'm very excited and pumped.
We're excited to have you, man. So let's have a little fun today. Let's hop in. For those listening, right, Nelson, obviously they know you're newer to the game, but give us just a quick background, like where are you out of, like how'd you step into real estate, how long you've been in the game, et cetera. Give us a snapshot of your kind of business journey so far.
Definitely. Well, my name is Nelson. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I go to college. Well, I've graduated from college in Louisiana. I've been in real estate for about a year. So I've been cold calling, door knocking, sending mail pieces, done everything, just taking time. I just needed something easier to do. So I can remember making phone calls, and I'm in Nashville. So Nashville is like a very competitive market now. So I can remember picking up the phone, and every time I would pick up the phone, I'll pick it up and, call and tell them, hey, this is Nelson. And as soon as I open my mouth, they'll tell me, you're like the fourth person to call me today. You need to just,
That's never fun. I don't really enjoy that conversation.
Definitely.
So you're cold calling. Again, cold calling works. We know that. But yes, it sounds like I heard you say it, right? It's like, is there potentially an easier way? Not that cold calling does not effective, but can I go around and close deals and maybe do this in a way that makes my life a little easier? So that was like the main thing that attracted you to TV was you were preferring to have more of inbound calls coming in rather than having to do these, we were laughing earlier, we were talking, I said smiling and dialing. And I was like, I don't ever actually remember smiling when I was dialing. Like, it wasn't fun. I don't know who came up with that phrase. So I totally get it. So you hear about this TV thing. You've been in the game for a year, and before TV, you had closed one transaction, which is great. A lot of people don't close a deal within their first year, but I mean, you are fresh as a real estate entrepreneur. So my first question is, I think people are listening. What made you give kind of the confidence to pick up the phone and call Tony about TV? Because I think a lot of people would go, I'm just not there yet. Right. So what was going through your mind that made you pick up the phone and call?
Right. Let me say this. I'm very young. So I'm 23. So this is, I'm very young. So this is like, I'm a guinea pig with it. But honestly, when I picked up the phone, I was thinking like, hey, what's the worst I can lose? I've been told no countless of times.
Going back to the cold calling, you're like, I'm used to this.
Right. So I saw that, and then me and my girlfriend were talking, and we were just saying like, hey, there has to be an easier way for us to generate leads without me having to bother people and, ask them this and follow up at times. So I went ahead and just got on the website, Real Estate Masters TV, and set up a call with Tony, and the rest is history.
I like it. A little fearlessness in you. I like it. And also too, I know being younger as well, there is a little bit of like, you just swing for the fences. You go for it. I remember being in real estate at 25. I was like, worst case scenario, I just have to maybe eat some ramen noodles for a couple of weeks. But like at 25, like who cares? Like it doesn't matter. I have like a family to feed. So you're right. You're able to kind of go for it just a little bit more. So you hop into Tony's program, and let's go directly into the numbers. So let's start with that, because everybody likes to know, hey, give me the proof that's in the pudding, right? Like, so what's been accomplished from a KPI metric standpoint? So you've been advertising for 2 months, 60 days. And what is your monthly ad spend right now on TV?
We're spending roughly around $3,000 a month. Okay.
Matt, Tony Javier, that's great. I know for some other people we've interviewed, it's been between 5 to 10. So 3,000, that's what I would call budget around like the radio type budget. So pretty good deal. Tony, why is it 3,000? Is that the market that he's in? How did he get that low? That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount of or the low ad spend you can get in some markets. I mean, we get really inexpensive commercials because we've tested expensive commercial spots and we've tested inexpensive commercial spots. And luckily our demographic is watching spots that aren't that expensive. So we get a lot of commercials for a low ad spend. So you'd be surprised at how many markets we can get in around $5,000 a month. Right now we actually do have a minimum of 5,000 a month. So we did change that recently, but there are some markets that you can't spend 5,000. So we'll plug in a $3,000 to $4,000 a month budget, and it gets the phone ringing and people are crushing. I've got one guy that we got in way early. We allowed him to do a $2,000 a month ad spend, and he's doing 20x on his money right now.
Oh, I bet. I mean, at 2,000, you close a couple of deals, like you're set for the year. Yeah. So that's great. I mean, if you're listening right now, and we've been talking about TV again, he's saying, a minimum of 5, but it's possible to get in for $2,000 to $3,000 if it's a smaller type market. So that's good. So going back over to you, Nelson, let's talk about the numbers. What's been accomplished? How many deals have you closed out on the books, money in the account within the first 60 days?
We closed 2 deals as of right now, roughly from $15,000.
Okay. So 2 deals closed with a combination of a total of 15,000 so far. I mean, you've already paid your ad spend back and you're getting a multiple already within 60 days. Again, I know that Tony and I harp on this when it comes to TV. It's the fact that it's not like, I don't want to pick on cold calling, but cold calling, a lot of times it's 3-6 months before you see the return. What I love about TV, this, marketing approach, is the fact that you're getting calls in immediately within the first week or 2, you're executing deals and you're getting that payback, and that cash register is ringing early. And again, you've made an investment and you've already recouped that investment in 60 days. And as a young, newer real estate investor, that's got to be a good feeling. I mean, I'm sure you're sleeping really well at night right now.
Definitely.
Absolutely. I love it. And then, of course, on top of that, you got 2 more deals in the pipeline as well. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking at some point we'll have to do a future check-in just to see what your ROI comes out to, but it looks like it's going to be really strong. So I asked you a question earlier. I said, Nelson, like, if some friends of yours call you, we always do that. Like, you're the guinea pig, maybe in your peer group. And they're like, Nelson, like, how's this whole TV thing going? What do you like about it? There were 3 things that you said that you've kind of been communicating back that you're getting the most value of. The first one was the quality of the lead. So talk to us about that. What are you seeing about the quality of the lead coming in through TV?
These are highly qualified leads. Like, I don't have to sell. They're actually calling me stating like, hey, I need to sell this house immediately, or this is, I need an estimate on my property. So honestly, it's great. I love the quality of leads that we're getting. Like, they are highly motivated. I just don't know what else to say. Like, they're highly motivated. Like, if you're sitting down listening to this podcast and you're looking for highly qualified leads to reach out to you, it's like, it's amazing. Like, literally the first week of us starting up, I've had at least 8 phone calls in the first week. And I was like, wow, like this is serious. Like,
Yeah.
I remember sitting down, listening to this podcast a week ago, like 2 weeks before I joined the program, thinking that, how can I generate leads now that I've joined and getting leads coming in instantly? It's amazing.
I'm excited. We're doing video right now, so I wish you guys could see Nelson. You can just see the excitement. He's like shaking his head. He's like, man, it's just amazing. So that excites Tony and I because we're watching your success through something, that's been worked on really hard by Tony to kind of crack the code on. So let's go to number 2. You said credibility, but this was interesting. I actually haven't heard someone pick this up before. When we say instant credibility, you kind of hear us talk about like celebrity status and so forth. But you said you've noticed something else, and that's the fact that sellers are actually skipping over other marketing pieces that are coming to them like direct mail, not even calling the postcards in the mailbox. They're just calling you off of TV because in their mind, they see you as superior over someone that just sent a postcard. So talk a little bit more about that because that's pretty cool. I like that.
Correct. Literally about, I'm going to say 70% of our calls, they call us first. We are the first, they call us first. So, they'll tell us, hey, like, have you reached out to any other buyers? I ask them sometime just to get some data on it. And they would tell me, yeah, I have a few postcards here, but I called you all first because you all are on TV. And it shows me that you all are serious about what you do and that you can, close the deal and you can get to the finish line. So I was honored, like, wow, like, this is amazing. Like, we can, they called us first, honestly. I don't know what else to say. Like, they called us first. It's cool. It's great.
How does that make you feel to know that you've been in the business for a year and your credibility has already surpassed people that have been in for 5 to 10 years sending direct mail? That's got to feel pretty good.
It does. It definitely does.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you don't have to build credibility like step by step by step by step, right? Mm-hmm. You can quantum leap that by utilizing mass media because that's what it does. I mean, mass media makes you instantly credible. I mean, think about how sometimes a movie star or like a professional athlete gets in that spotlight and literally their lives are changed in a week. Everyone in the country knows about them and knows their name. So, I mean, it's like a lightning flash. It can happen. So I love that that's happening for you as well. Tony, I have a question. You might have to guesstimate this, or maybe you've tracked it. Any idea to quantify of all the calls that come in off TV to you and your students? What percentage of those never call anyone else but the actual student that advertised on TV? Nelson's saying like he's feeling about 70%, but I'm curious if you have any data on that.
I don't. I'll have to start asking my clients.
Interesting.
But I'm with our calls that come in, typically we are the only one they call. Now, do we verify that all the time? But people will say, hey, we got your direct mail piece. We called you and only you, as opposed to the stack that's in our pile. And so we get in front of those leads first before anybody else. And typically we get those deals done before anybody else is even called. But I'll have to ask my team. I'd like to know that statistic around the country, and I'll start asking my clients. But I would imagine it's got to be at least probably 50%. Because if you think about it, when people Google somebody, they're going to call 3 to 5. If they, go on the internet for anything, they're going to see a bunch of people. If they're getting postcards, they're getting a ton of postcards. With cold calling, if they're getting cold called, they're probably on 100 people's lists that are getting called. But TV, it's like you're probably going to be the only one, if not maybe 1 or 2 or 3 in the market that are doing TV. So the chances of them seeing their commercial around the same time and calling all the people on TV, if there is anybody else on TV, is probably pretty slim. So yeah, usually it's they hear the message. They call and they say, hey man, I was thinking about selling. I saw your commercial. I decided to call you to see what your offer is, and they don't call anybody else.
Yeah,
so I know it's pretty high, but I don't have that exact number.
Well, I know, again, you and I are kind of in this mass media boat together, right? You're the TV guy. I'm the radio guy. This is why it's been kind of the perfect marriage. But I know on radio, our students will tell us all the time that they feel like the majority of the time they get a call and they go out on a radio appointment. It's just them. This is why, if you look at all the marketing channels, like when I talk to students or even for us, if we compare all the channels that we have, we always have a higher average profit per deal on radio. And the reason that is because we didn't have to negotiate down our price because we were the only ones that were out there. So I think that that's a huge quality when it comes to television for sure. So lastly, let's go to this. This is kind of the twist in the show, the thing that we really wanted to talk about today, because for some of you listening, you might still be, a little bit on the fence of, am I ready to make this move? Can I afford this? I don't know, if I want to take the risk, I want to mitigate that. So this show specifically is for you today, because what Tony's done is he's really about to come in and just mitigate all of your risks. So you did something interesting, Tony, with Nelson. And Nelson, I'll ask you one quick question. You said the third thing for you was like how easy the setup was, right? Like this was like Tony did everything for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for the most part. The only thing I'm doing is just performing on the leads, and we're talking and sitting down on a call, but everything else.
Yeah, you're converting. He's the one that set up the traffic coming in, right? So he's making sure that the balls are being pitched at you, and then you're responsible for that. So he's got that machine up and going. So Tony, I'm curious, how did you structure this? Even how did this idea come to you about this concept now that you will JV a TV relationship with someone that's a newbie to help them get into the TV game sooner so that they can ramp up and scale their business and have a marketing channel that they love, rather than like Nelson was talking about, I'm not really digging this whole cold calling thing. So talk to us about your new strategy here.
Yeah. So Nelson was the first client we decided to do this with. And we wouldn't do this with anybody. I saw the hunger in Nelson. I could tell he's a good kid. Hustling out there. He told me all this stuff that he's doing with cold calling and texting, and
you can tell he's a hustler, right? The energy, it kind of takes me back. Like I remember when I love it. Nelson, you've got that hustle in you. We can feel it.
And I don't remember you saying door knocking, but that's a whole nother level as a new investor. It's painful. So when Nelson, him and I first talked, he said, "Hey, I want to get my first deal closed. That way I can take that money, get into the program." So we had a couple conversations over, I don't know, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks, text and that kind of thing. Finally, he's like, all right, closed, got the money in the account, let's go. And so as we're talking, I can't remember if it was that conversation or maybe the next one we had, I said, hey, Nelson, our typical investor typically already has phone numbers. They already have websites set up. They've got tons of closings that are coming in on the books that they can just, spend every single month. And I said, hey, why don't I set the website up for you? I'll get the phone number. I'll shoot the commercial. I will do 100% of the setup for you. The only thing I had to do with Nelson, I think, is set him up on the CRM. And my team set him up on the CRM so that he could efficiently do the deals and track them and all that good stuff. So I was willing to do that with Nelson because I knew he was young, hungry. And when I was 21 years old and I got into the business, so a couple of years younger than Nelson, to have someone to come in and invest time and money with me, that would have been so valuable. So not only are we teaming up on this, but I just love working with Nelson, working on the numbers and helping him not make mistakes that I know that I probably made in the beginning by me talking him through it with my 20 years of experience and saying, hey, your numbers are a little bit off, or, hey, you need to negotiate, this a little bit more. Hey, they told you this price, but I bet you can get it for this. And just being able to add that value to Nelson and it's really rewarding seeing someone come in brand new, not have to spend a lot of their own money and just cut the learning curve way down. And Nelson's working a full-time job right now. So he's doing this on the side. And he didn't tell you also that he is in Nashville, but he's actually doing this virtually in another market. Mm-hmm. So for him to be brand new, getting into this business with pretty much no buyers list, not a lot of experience, he's just doing super well for how short of time he's been in the business, and it's been a great relationship, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes.
I like it. Nelson, how's that been for you to not only pick up somebody to help you set up your TV, but now to kind of have a mentor that you can bounce additional questions off of that might not have anything to do about TV? How's that felt for you?
It's great. This is going to sound weird, but it's like I manifested it. I told myself,
I love it.
I need to find a mentor, someone I can work with that, I can do these deals with, and it's like, wow, like it's amazing that the opportunity is here, and it's amazing. So I'm really appreciative of Tony opening the program up to me and working with me. I really appreciate it, honestly. And yes, everything is virtual. So I actually have a lawn care business that I run, and me and some friends. So we do that here in Nashville, and while I have time, that's why I was like, cold calling just isn't it. Like, I don't have the time. I don't want to say I don't have the time, but
but we understand what you're saying.
Right, right.
You have more on your plate, and you've got to
Mhm.
be protective of your bandwidth, and you've got to be wise in how you spend that time. And here's the thing, you said it. A lot of people that end up going the TV route or the radio route, they just have to be a lot more cautious of their time. It could be they own another business. It could be that they're a parent with kids, right? Just different things that they're like, I can't sit down and spend hours and hours doing this. Like, I have to play this real estate game differently. I can't play it like everyone else where they're just going to spend a bunch of time. I got to play this game a lot smarter. And for those that think that way, or particularly are in a circumstance like yours, that's why like radio and television is just like, it's like the light bulb goes off. This was like, this fits me and my world and meets my needs where I'm at. So I love it. It's perfect.
Definitely.
So, Tony, is there anything else you want to touch on this JV piece as we start to wrap up today? Because I think it's a really cool concept that you've rolled out to help some people get in the game on TV a bit earlier.
No, I don't think so. I mean, a lot of our client, or pretty much all of our clients, except for Nelson and a couple others, are doing this on their own. So if someone's set up already and they're doing deals, it's like a no-brainer for them to do TV. I presented this to some more experienced clients that are like, you know what, the returns I'm getting, I'm going to get, I would rather do it on my own, which is great. But for someone who, doesn't necessarily have a lot of money and, wants someone to guide them a little bit more through the process and get going, I'm not going to accept everybody into this kind of relationship. This is the first time I've talked about it publicly. I've really just thrown this past probably a handful of people, and we've got 2 or 3 other markets in the works that we're doing right now. But if you want to get in the game, people ask me what I would have done 20 years ago getting into the business, what I would do differently. One, I say there's 2 things. One is I wish I would have found TV. I would do TV as a new investor, knowing what I know now. And 2 is to find a mentor or someone or a coach or someone that is where I want to be to help guide me through all the struggles of my business and to eliminate a lot of the challenges that I would have had in the beginning. So for Nelson and the JV partners I'm partnering up with, I'm providing both of those things for them. So I'm ecstatic with how the program's going. We're working with over 100 investors around the U.S. now.
I'll say again, so you're over 100 people now that you've helped set up on TV. That's amazing. That's a great milestone, Tony. I'm super excited for you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you because Chris, you brought that to me. I know you're crushing it with radio and your students are doing really well. So props.
And we have people that are doing both. That's the other thing I love too.
Yeah.
We have people there like, I'm doing TV and I'm doing radio and I'm going all mass media on this thing. So it's a lethal combination if you decide to do both. But again, as we always say, just find the one that fits you best. If TV's calling your name, go after TV, man. That's your thing. I really do like, Tony, now though, that those that are listening, they have 2 options at this point with you, right? They can do the traditional way that you're doing it, just pay to have it done with you system, or now they have the option to JV. So I would definitely tell you, if you're listening now, as you talk with Tony, you got a couple of things to process through. And I know, Tony, if you are on the side of Nelson, you better resemble what Nelson showed you today. And that's, Tony's not going to take you unless you're a hustler and you're serious and you want to go this, because he's just not going to waste his time. But once he takes you under his wing, he's going to give you 100% of everything he's got. That's what I do know about Tony. So as everyone's listening, Tony, where they go if they want to schedule a call to be able to talk with your team, ask some questions, see if this is a fit for them, where do they go?
Yeah, it's really easy. Just go to our website, realestatemasterstv.com/Chris. Again, realestatemasterstv.com/Chris. And do what Nelson did, 3 or 4 months ago. Just go on there, fill out your information, apply for the program, schedule a call with me. And I'd love to talk to you about TV and see how we can help you.
Awesome. And Nelson, hey, we're proud of you, man. Proud of you for getting in the game at the age that you're at. Proud of you for having the courage to pick up that phone and call Tony. So there's no question in my mind that you're about to just take off and start to surpass a lot of people. So I'm excited to watch your journey and where you end up here in the next year or two. But you've got what we call it. You got it, man. And it's going to take you a long ways down this entrepreneurial road for you. So excited for you. And to everyone else, thank you so much for joining us. And we will catch you soon when we add more value. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much.